What's good, everybody? How's everybody doing on this fine morning? It was morning as I record this. I hope your day is going good. This lady can't control her dog. I don't know why these small people get these big dogs. They can't control them. I don't know why people do that. So let's get into it. Make sure you hit that rate, subscribe, share button. Hit that rate, thumbs up, share button. Let's get the conversation going in the comments section. All that. So let's have a conversation about why people often don't try. Why don't people try? Why don't you try to do better? Why don't you try to be better? And I'm gonna give two really fairly basic opinions about this. There's probably a lot more, but I try to keep this a lot organic and just from my own personal experiences and things that I've read, all that. First reason I think is kind of obvious, right? Is that they don't want to fail. They're scared of failure. They're scared to put themselves out there, scared to be rejected, scared to be scared to be rejected, scared of failure, scared to be embarrassed, right? That it's comfortable where they are, right? They become comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. They'd rather not go for employment opportunities or for promotional opportunities or to start the business or to start going to the gym because they don't want to look bad and they don't want to fail. It's easy to stay where you are. Think about that. It's easy to stay where you are, to stay who you are. It's easy to complain about the situation rather than get some get up and go about you in order to do something to fix the situation. And that sounds counterintuitive. It sounds crazy. It sounds bad. But human beings are creatures of habit. And once we develop a habit that we are comfortable with, that we know the outcome, it's just easy just to coast through it rather than try to make things happen, especially in today's environment, right? Before, there's another lady with big dogs he can't control. Especially now, we, the forerunners, the forefathers, and I'm talking about men who really kind of built the country and, try to do things to make the world a better place, give us indoor plumbing and electricity and all this, run the wires, drop the cables so we could talk to somebody in Europe or Africa or whatever, right? Launch satellites into space so I can make these type of videos, all this stuff, right? They wanted something better. But there's other people who just, everything's good, everything's fine, everything's good, everything's right on schedule, and they're in that. And I don't want to pick on the ladies or anything, but I read that Bumble, the dating app Bumble, that was the dating app that women had to make the first move. And the ladies complained. They don't want to make the first move, right? They're making a first move that feels out of character, out of their comfort zone. They don't want to be rejected if the guy doesn't say hi back or hey back or whatever. I could say a lot about that, man. I was on Bumble for a little bit. I was on there for a little bit, right? You get these heys and hellos and all that. And it was the same thing that was the same thing that the men were complaining about. I mean, that the ladies were complaining about the men. These guys don't take time. They're not reading our bios and all this, and you don't know how to respond to. You don't know how to get a lady's attention. So therefore, Bumble. And the ladies are doing the same exact thing. Hey, hi. Anyway, but people are afraid to come out of their comfort zone. So Bumble's changing. Now they can use AI. Oh, it's just crazy. That's one reason I think the AI. I think I think it's bad. It's bad. I think it's bad. I think it's going to make people lazy. They're going to try. You don't have to read. You don't have to think. I don't think it's good at all. I just watched the new. I didn't mean this for to be a ramble and a rant, but I just watched the new movie by Jennifer Lopez, Atlas. Netflix started out good, ended up really bad. I don't know. I don't know if that's a skill. I don't know if that's a skill in Hollywood, or you go to film school or whatever it's called or whatever. But how can you have a good premise, good idea, and just I was really enjoying the movie. Then it's like they switched directors like halfway through it, or the writers just stop trying, and maybe I don't know. AI. that's why I brought that up, right? AI, people not trying, you don't have to put forth the most effort. It's easy, you get comfortable. And that's what I think. We become so comfortable as a society, as a Western country, that we don't have to try anymore. We don't have to put forth effort. You can rely on your phone and Google and apps, and I stopped answering questions for my kids when they were teenagers. Google it. Tell me what the answer is. Right? Look it up. That's what my parents used to tell me. Right? Now, my parents tell me, my grandmother, my mentors, look it up. Look it up. You don't know what this is? Look it up. I'm not gonna tell you the answer, because if I tell you, you're gonna forget. But if you look it up and put the work in, you'll remember. And I think that AI is making it more like that. It's great that we have the world at the fingertips, but so people are afraid to try. They're afraid to try. Why are you afraid to try? Because you're afraid of failure. Afraid of failure, afraid to put forth an effort, afraid to be embarrassed, afraid of that you will whatever. When I was in the police department, obviously a lot of my stories and my life experiences as a 51-year-old man will come from my children, how I raised them, my dating life, my marriage life, and my job in the police department, right? And even I'll probably have a lot of stories from church too. That was my world, that was my life, that was who I was, right? Growing up in an inner city, in a medium-sized city, right? That's who I was. So when I was in the police department, you would have these people, there was be an opportunity, a testing opportunity that would come up. A testing opportunity that would come up. There's two different types of opportunity, say. When I say testing, I mean promotion opportunity. Go sergeant, detective, lieutenant, et cetera, et cetera. And then there was appointment opportunities. Maybe you wanted to be in the gang task force, or join what we call community relations, or join the mounted horses, or join the bicycle squad or motorcycle squad, or a lot of different opportunities. Join the ERT team or SWAT team. We call it ERT team, emergency response team. All these different opportunities, right? So I can remember one time I was talking to this lady. Now I was a sergeant at the time. I had taken a sergeant's test, and I passed it, obviously. Passed it and had gotten promoted. I was talking to a lady one time, and she was another officer. We were at training. We left patrol. When we had training, we left patrol, and then we sat for a week or so in our training division. Got caught up in whatever the newest laws, case laws, domestic violence procedures, all that kind of stuff. Right? We did all that. So we're talking, and I'm like, she was a detective. I'm pretty sure she was. She retired as a detective. I don't know if she was. We weren't having this conversation, but I was definitely a supervisor. And she was so she took the test. Well, so we're having a conversation, and she's like, I never took the sergeant's test. I never ever wanted it. Never wanted that responsibility. And that's something I'll get into, a little bit later. But I'm looking at her like, what do you mean you didn't take the test? I'm not the type of person to call people out. I'm not a confrontational person, right? I know it may seem counterintuitive about being a police officer. I mean, if I have to do it, right? If I was working, right? Hey, listen, you told me this lie, and this is I know it's the truth, right? We got your video. If it came to that, I would do that. But just in more normal conversation, just in real life, right? You just telling me something that's not true. I'm just done with you. I'm just done with you. I don't know how to talk. I don't think I really ever had a conversation with this lady again, because she told me she didn't take the sergeant's test. Now we had gone to a big high school. It was a lot of us. So so in order to fit us all into the room, they put us in a high school, and then we were in the library in the high school. I remember it. That was my first test. I remember where it was. She's sitting at the next table. She was. I know who this lady is. I'm like, she's telling me. I remember that, right? I remember all the people. I remember a lot of the people that were there. Especially, I'm retired now, but at the time, I was like, 3 years into my supervisorships, sergeanthood. I remember her being there. Like, why are you lying? Again, I'm not the type of call. I'm like, why are you lying about this? I remember you there. Why was she lying about it? Because they don't want to look bad. They don't want to look bad. You took the test, you didn't pass it. So you want people to think that you didn't try. It saves face, saves your esteem. So now you may not think that you look bad as far as trying and failing, but now I just look at you as a liar. And for anyone thinking about, the ramifications of law enforcement, if somebody was just do that, I had the same reservations. I understand. What the heck are you talking about? I saw you there. So, cops are people. Hate to break it to you, cops are people too. So people are afraid to try. They're afraid. They're afraid to fail. They're afraid to look bad. They're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid, right? And they want to keep it quiet. And I talked about the other ways, people. And then when I become supervisor, move up a little bit, right? I know, you have conversations with the administrator. When I was a sergeant and lieutenant, right? You're not that close to the upper command staff, right? And our department was captains and up, right? You're not that close. You're considered mid-manager, right? So, and I remember this other case where talking about people who put in for stuff and they would tell me this. Sometimes command staff would tell me, because I would advocate for people. Hey, listen, this person hasn't got anything. They haven't got any training. They really want to do this. They really want to join the bicycle squad, or they really want to, whatever. I would try to, not often, but I would try to say, hey, listen, why don't we do something to give this guy, or gal, an opportunity to do something, get out of patrol, get out of the normal grind, and do something different. And they would be. I don't know why I turn the car off. It's gonna get hot. And they would be, and they would tell me, tell me, what are you talking about, right? This person put in for this job. I'm like, what? Or they would say to me, that the people would say to me, hey, listen, this person didn't do this. I would say to them, why, put in for this job, whatever. And they would say to me, they put in for it or they didn't put in for it. And a lot of times the administrative staff would say, well, listen, this person didn't put in for it, even though they're telling you they did. Or, they got this opportunity. So there was just this dishonesty that would just be going on. I guess that's a way for me to shorten this up. There would just be this dishonesty about how many classes they got, whatever they got, right? These opportunities that they say they didn't get, that they say they put in for, that they really didn't put in for. People try to keep things secret because they didn't want people to know what they were really and actually doing. And I just, of course, again, all this kind of stuff, right? All this deception is around, not just police department, but anybody. They just have this way about them that people just don't want to be embarrassed about trying to go for things. People will be working out. They'll change their diet. They try to quit smoking. They won't tell people they're pregnant. All because they don't. There's this fear. There's this inherent fear of failure in case things go wrong. So, sometimes I can respect that, but I can't respect dishonesty. I can't respect that. Say nothing, do nothing. Just okay, all right. But that's the fear of failure. Why don't people try harder? And the second thing is, I would say, why don't people try is because they don't want. They have a fear of responsibility. Again, I talked about their fear of moving up the chain, fear of going forward, fear of responsibility, fear of accountability. They're just afraid of these things, right? They're afraid to try to get out, to put themselves out there because they feel comfortable in the situations that they are, right? And I did talk to a lot of people who were like, oh, I don't want the responsibility. I don't want the responsibility of being a supervisor. I don't want the responsibility of doing X. I want to stay where I am. And I don't have any smoke for any people like that. If you like where you are, you like the conditions that you're in, okay, great. That's fine. That's dandy, right? But I'm trying to help you all become the best versions of yourself that you can be. And I'm trying to give you the reasons as to why other people around you may not be as motivated as you. And in these types of motivational spaces, we're saying to people, you really have to surround yourself with people who are motivated, who are dedicated, who are trying to move up. And if you start hanging out with people, or you start to really incorporate those types of philosophies in your life, then you'll be right where they are. Now, I'm not saying it's bad or good. I'm just saying that you have to watch the company that you keep, and you have to do what it takes in order to motivate yourself, or get to the place that where you want to be in life. And I know for me that, when I heard sayings like, if you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to be in a new room. If you're the smartest one of your friends, you need to make new friends, and you need to be around people who are going to help you, to push you, to drive you in order to propel you to success. And you have to really try your best to be that person, and to be around people who think like that. And so when you're around people who are afraid of accountability, who are afraid of responsibility, who are afraid of moving up, what comes along with accountability and responsibility? What comes along with that? Well, you have to show up to work early. Sometimes you have to be the first one through the door, and you have to be the last one to leave. You have to be the first one through the door, and you have to be the last one to leave. You have to put your P's and Q's out, or be on your P's and Q's, cross every T, dot every I, or whatever that lingo would be for typing on the computer and all that. You have to be perfect. You have to strive for perfection. I've talked about being a perfectionist, where you feel as if you beat yourself up, and you can't be motivated, and you go into depressions. But there's a difference between being a perfectionist and striving for and aiming for perfection. And I'm saying that you have to strive for perfection. Your notes, your documents, your what you approve has to be that way, right? And you have to get knocked down, and all that kind of stuff, right? And you have to, and you're going to fail along the way. And some people don't like the stench of failure. They have a fear of failure. They don't want to go through the ups and downs, right? They don't want to go through the ups and downs in order to go up, right? Because every up is going to have a little bit of a down while you learn, right? So you're going to have peaks and valleys and hills, but you continue to move your way up as you go along. You continue to move your way up as you go along. And people don't want to go through that. They want to coast on easy life. They want to coast on easy mode. People play video games. I had a good friend, who used to play college football. The game college football before on video games. He used to play it on easy mode all the time because he wanted to run up the score. I'm like, dude, man. Then we would play a game, right? I'd be smoking them, man, because you're not pushing yourself. So you have to push yourself, and you cannot be afraid of accountability, responsibility. You cannot be afraid of coming to work early. You cannot be afraid of having the crisp uniform. You cannot or should not be afraid. Now, if you don't want any of this, I'm assuming if you're listening to this type of content, then you are a motivated, dedicated type of person who wants the best for yourself. You are going to the gym. You are going to the I'm on a walk right now, or a trail right now. I'm going to get a walk in. Right, you're motivated. You're dedicated. If you're not sitting on the couch eating bonbons and potato chips, right? You're trying to do something, and you're in school. You're going for a certification. You're going for a license. You're trying to advance your skills, right? You're trying to do something that will make you more marketable, or keep your brain going, or doing something. Trying to learn a new instrument. Trying to lose weight. Trying to gain weight through muscle mass and all this. Whatever it is you're trying to do, you're trying to do that. You're trying to do that type of thing. But in that, there's going to become times of failure. You're going to go to the gym. Right, one day, going to the gym. I was a real big gym rat before, right? And you go to the gym, right? And then maybe on Monday, man, I don't know, you bench 200 pounds or 250 or whatever, whatever it is, you feel good, right? You eat right, this, that, and the other. And the next time you do it, like I couldn't do it. Like what happened? What's up with this, right? Your body didn't fully heal. You didn't get enough sleep. You didn't eat enough protein or whatever for your body to heal. And so therefore, the next time you try to do it, you do it, right? So you make the minor and small adjustments to make sure that your body is getting enough rest to do what you got to do. And that's the same type of thing, right? It's the fear of failure. You gotta go with the hills and valleys, right? And so you cannot have a fear of success. A fear of success. So let me end this off with was just talking about that, right? Let me end this off because I want to get to my walk here. Is don't have a fear of failure. Don't have a fear of embarrassment. Or I should say, don't have it, right? Don't have it, right? Deal with it. Face it. Understand. I have been fearful of success, and I'm not telling you to go out there fear of failure. I'm not telling you to go out there and tell people your whole business, right? If you don't want to tell people what you're doing or how you're doing or what moves you're trying to make, I think that's actually very, very smart. Don't tell people what you're trying to do, but I also say don't lie about it, right? That's number one. And keep your mouth closed, right? Just move in silence. Just do what you got to do. I think there's too much posting on most social media about what people are trying to do. I think there's just too much people knowing what your business is. I don't know why that is a thing. I don't know why that's a phenomenon, but it is. It's a phenomenon where people are just doing that type of thing. But it is what it is. Human nature, right? Psychologists are still trying to figure out, why we have this, how social media has changed our lives and how we post food and our vacations and stuff, right? So. And then the other perspective is, right, you got to get over your fear of responsibility and accountability. If you want to move up the chain, you want to start a business, you want to whatever, you have to understand, or you want to talk to a girl or talk to a guy or whatever, fear of rejection and all this kind of stuff, right? You have to put yourself in that position and understand that every up is gonna necessitate some type of fall. Either it came before or it's going to come sooner or later, right? You cannot go up, have a supervisor managerial job, and then be perfect in that. So, some higher supervisor is going to say, "What's up with this?" Or the government's going to say, "What's up with this?" Or somebody, or you own a company, and they're going to be like, "What's up with this?" Right? So you have to be ready mentally to handle those types of ups and downs and those types of issues. And so this if you want that success. People want the success, they want the money and they want the accolades, but they don't want to go through the process of getting it. And the process of getting it is not just signing up for it, but the process is also falling down and stumbling along the way, learning from your mistakes. And so those are the reasons that people just refuse to do it. So don't be afraid of success. And if you're going to do it, if you're going to be a supervisor, be the best one you can be. And if you're going to be whatever you're going to be the best version of yourself and be the best one you can be. Understand that failure is part of the process. Understand that success means accountability, responsibility, being the first one in, being the last one out, having your work scrutinized to a higher level, higher degree. Cops, police officers, everybody scrutinizes our work, right? From the videos that you see, what we should do, what you should not do. You go to court, the judge is scrutinizing it, the prosecutor is scrutinizing it, the defense attorney scrutinizes it, other experts are scrutinizing. That's what I do, as another business of mine is doing expert testimony work. When cops mess up or whatever, I take a look at their report and see what they should do or should not have done or whatever, right? That's what I do. And so I'm one of those experts that be like, oh no, the cops should have did this, that, and the other, or they did the right thing. A lot of times they do the right thing. So that's what I do. But you cannot be afraid of having your work scrutinized and analyzed by somebody who's been in the business, whatever business that is, right? So I made this long enough. I hope I said something that was encouraging to you. If you made it this far into the video, make sure that you hit that thumbs up button or the thumbs down button, right? They both count. I'm always trying to improve. If you're looking for a life coach, expert testimony, expert witness to review police cases or leadership cases, if you're looking for interviewing skills, things like that, life coaching to get more personalized type of thing, make sure that you hit me up in the comments, or you go to my my email is on the page. Hit me up. We'll have a discussion and we can get things going. But make sure that you hit that thumbs up button. Much love and peace, everyone. Get your workout in, eat right, exercise, love your family. Tell the people in your life that you love them today, because tomorrow's not promised. And give people their flowers while they can smell them. Give people their flowers while they can smell them.